Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Singles Connect community, our podcast, weekly podcast. We're super excited for this week's episode. Our third leg is not here, literally speaking. Mr. Akan is not here. So we are here today. Stacy and I are holding it down. Welcome, Stacy. Super excited. If this is your first time, we're so excited that you're here. But make sure you do the needful. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you do that, which we need you to do. Subscribe, turn your notifications on, leave us a comment in the chats below. Let us know your thoughts on the episode, and of course, give us feedback on topics that you would like us to talk about and things that you would like to see from the Singles Connect community podcast. All right, we're going to dive into the conversation today. Once again, my name is Dr. Oyinkansola Jinadu. I am one of the hosts, and my beautiful co-host is here.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Singles Connect community, guys. And guys, just so if you're joining us for the first time, Dr. OJ is a Pisces. She had a birthday with this week, so y'all give her a shout out to look her up on Instagram. And yeah, just share a like and share the love, guys. And happy birthday, Dr. OJ. How do you feel?
Thank you so much. I feel good. I feel great. First of all, I feel so grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I identified with the horoscopes, but now as an adult, knowing exactly what that means for me in my
Mm-hmm.
faith and my journey with God, I no longer identify with the horoscopes. So I am
Okay.
really a February baby. I was born in the month of February. I absolutely love and embrace all of the vibes for February love, and it's just a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful month. And we February babies were very special. If you don't agree with me, you can argue with your keyboard. That's okay. Okay. But legends are born in February, that's for sure. But yeah, it was a great birthday and I'm super grateful.
I'm glad to hear that. I only mention Pisces because my sister is a Pisces and my mom is a Pisces. My aunt is a Pisces. Oh, and you can't tell her nothing. Pisces are the best people on the planet. She just wanted to hear somebody's Pisces and she was like, yeah, we the cool people. Yeah. So that's why I know that people that fall under your guys' months,
Mhm.
depending on which day of the month it is, about the whole Pisces things because she won't stop reminding me. She's been reminding me my whole life that Pisces are the best people on the planet. So,
Well,
you
that's
know,
amazing.
so yeah, but guys, I just had to, wish Dr. OJ a happy birthday publicly and let you
Thank you,
guys
my
know,
love.
that it is
I
her birthday.
appreciate
So if you want to show her some love, just check out our Instagram page, her Facebook page, or Google her. She is, yeah, just Google her. That's all you got to do is just Google her. So I'm gonna
it.
digress on that, and we're gonna jump
Yes.
into these topics. So today we are talking about one night stands.
Uh-huh.
Is gonna be our topic for this beautiful day that we're having in the Dallas Metroplex. It's actually a beautiful day, guys. It's warm, but it's a pretty day. It's a pretty
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
It's very pretty. I've been out all day, so I'm appreciative of what God is doing in this moment
I
because I think next week
know.
we're gonna get some rain, but either way, so I am ready to, I guess, get into this topic. I know it may be a little bit though controversial, for some. It may be touchy for some, and some may not agree with our perspective
Of
and our
course.
thought process. But we're all here to learn and to grow and to just create a safe space for everyone to express their point of view, the type of lifestyle that they choose to live. No judgments here. This is a judgment-free zone. We're just here to chop it up and just to keep it 100 and just to be transparent, honest, and real about how our views don't have to be your guys' views. And
Uh,
just, to create space for our community to have these conversations. So what do you think, Dr. OJ? What is your thought when you think about one night stands?
okay, personally for me, I don't subscribe to it. But one
Mm-hmm.
thing I also know is the fact that a lot of people find themselves in a one night stand situation, not necessarily because they go out looking for it and they have that in
Mm-hmm.
to having a one night stand. Sometimes people meet up and things happen and they kind of escalate very quickly, especially when certain things are involved in the mix. The environment, if the person is already chemically induced, that means not talking about drugs, but talking about alcohol. And that really throws judgment out the window. But some people generally actually don't mind having it, and that's a thing for them. Like literally, it's a thing that I've heard it said that I think it was a conversation we were having, and you're telling me about hot girl summer, and that's like a thing. And I didn't
Yes.
really
Yeah.
understand what that meant. I thought hot girl summer meant getting your summer buddy together, looking good, looking fly for the summer. But I'm learning from pop culture that hot girl summer means something different. And I'm like, what? That's a thing? So yeah, it will be interesting. I want to really understand where that came from. How did we get
Mhm.
from a generation of, coexisting and trying to build relationships now to like actually women having hot girl summer? Like I thought it was even a men's thing. Like when you talk about one night stand, that was something that men were more prevalent in being actively in pursuit of, just hit it and run, and not run, but, just find someone, sleep with, and move
Mhm.
on. But now women are proactively putting themselves in that position as well.
Well, our culture has shifted. I think every generation goes through their different stages because what was it in the 60s? It was the what did they call the hippie stage,
Yeah, the hippies.
and they did a lot of raves. It was also the era of the smoke era, where going to those outdoor parties. There
Yeah.
is a name for it. Where, but I think you know the era that I'm talking about, and a lot of and then follow that was sex and rock and roll. I think the sex and rock and roll follow the hippie era. So I think every generation sees a different type of era, and a lot of babies were born during the hippie era of everybody just getting high and go. Woodstock is what they used to. I think they used to call it. You go to
Mhm.
Woodstock, you go to concerts.
Well,
These are concerts where people are sleeping in tents and whatnot. And I guess if you meet someone, and there's chemistry and you're getting along, then I guess that was the next thing to do. I think we also saw that wave too in the rock and roll era, where because I've heard the phrase before, the rock and roll babies, because all the babies that was born in that time, that's what they were called. And then we had the R&B era, where we talk about the
yeah.
R&B babies that was born under these nice sexy music.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, I do really do appreciate some of those R&B songs. At least they were trying to tell a man how to actually appreciate a woman's body, how to
Mhm.
actually touch a woman. Now the songs is about really hit and move it. So back to our conversation, which is what I'm saying. Like every generation, I think sees like a different stage to this that kind of promotes a certain type of lifestyle. But again, everyone have a choice to make in choosing how they choose to live and how they choose to carry them and conduct themselves when it comes to certain standards. And women always, it doesn't matter what generation or era we're in, we're always going to be held to a higher standard than men. And that we're not expected to do certain things when it comes to our body and sexuality. So, to your point that you were making, that usually it's men that are more prone, but now you're seeing that more women are also engaging in this lifestyle. And as I said to you before in our last conversation, there's apps now that actually condone these things, that there's actually apps that supports that you literally just go there just to find somebody, just for the moment, just for that purpose. And
Yeah.
everybody's aware that this is what it is. We're just
Mhm.
here to find out, do you want to hook up? Yeah, I'll meet you somewhere in an hour, 30 minutes, whatever. And this is what we're here to do.
And
And
that's
goodbye.
it. That's it. That's it. So
Yeah.
technology has really transformed the face of relationships.
It has.
Technology
It
has done a
has.
lot. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it
the
has.
thing. I don't know if it's, I mean, one night stands are, what are they really good for? So let's chop and dice it, right? In a non judgmental way. Are they good for anything? Because when you look at it, like, what good has it done to our society?
I can't, well, if we look at it from, as I said, I think, as you said rightfully, that I don't think most everyday normal people go out planning on having one night stands. I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes people do find themselves in circumstances where you meet someone, there's chemistry there, the conversation is flowing well, you feel like you've known this person forever, and you just connect, and this is something, and you connect more than just in the verbal conversation, the chemistry, you connect where you feel things happening to your body. And for the stronger ones of us, and I'm not saying those people that make those decisions are weak either. You may decide this is something that you want to do. And some people do it responsibly, other people don't. And I think that's the part that is more troubling to me. For me personally, it's not a lifestyle that I engage in or a lifestyle that I necessarily co-sign or condone. But I have known certain situations and parties where things of that nature has happened. And again, this was never a planned situation either for any of those people. Say the circumstances, you went out, you met someone, and all everything, all the cards aligned and everything felt right, and this is what you wanted to do. So I think as adults, if we make certain decision, knowing consensual decision, and it's a responsible decision that you make, not the reckless, irresponsible decisions where you're drunk, you're high on drugs, you have no idea of what's happening in your environment. You can't even remember the moment because you were that intoxicated and high on whatever else chemicals is going on in your mind. Then that's the time, those are the risks that I'm kind of worries me as where we're going as a society with how we promote it. Because I think sometimes too there's a little bit of liberation in it for women too, when you can make that decision in the moments that I just described with somebody consciously. And this is a two adult, consenting adult making a decision to do this. Because I think as women, we've been caged so much when it comes to our sexuality, and we've been told so much, and we've been ridiculed. We've been, what do you call
Yeah.
it, body shamed. We
Yeah.
have been called sluts, the scarlet letter, all of the above, and all of these things. So I think sometimes women also make these decisions out of liberation.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Because when you look at it, like now that women are putting a tag to it and they feel like they're now taking ownership of these choices. So now it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so now what are you going to call me? Nobody's going to call you anything. I'm doing this
Yeah.
because I consciously want to do it. And I'm here because I consciously want to be here. But
Yeah.
on the flip side, I feel like it's done a lot more damage to relationships, especially for people who are looking to have long-term quality relationships. Or what?
Now, yeah, I do agree with that. Okay, so let's just be real here. If you know for a fact, to thyself be true, and we
Uh-huh.
talk a lot about on our podcast here on our platform about being self aware, I think you have to be self aware. You have to be confident. You have to be steadfast in your conviction. If for a fact you know you are looking for marriage in a long term relationship where somebody's going to take you seriously, and I'm not saying some people haven't had a success out of one night stands, because I have known couples that have gotten married that slept together on the first date.
Uh-huh.
But those are the exception to the rule. It doesn't work for everybody. So ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway, but
normally.
I'm right. But I'm saying though, guys, if for sure you know your goal is a long term relationship that you want to see progress into marriage, you want somebody to take you seriously. I honestly do not think starting out the relationship by having sex on the first night of meeting someone is the way to go. And I hardly doubt you're going to find success in it. Because I said, even for the far few and in between couples that we know that may have seen success from it, it's the exception to the rule. It's not the norm. So just make decision based on your conviction and what you're hoping to achieve is what I would say. And don't be naive to think that you may be the Cinderella, because I said it's far few and in between. So yeah, that would be my advice, Dr. OJ, when it comes to that.
But if we're talking about the fact that there are few couples that might have found success, can we really say they found success, or they just made it work?
Um,
I
I,
mean, we're not
I,
really in those relationships, because the way I look at it is, can there really be an authentic, lifelong, genuine, committed relationship for people who end up together after a one night stand?
well, so an example is that I can give you, and this is a famous couple, is going to be John Legend and Christy. I can't remember her last name now. Christy
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. She
Yeah.
she has a talk
So
show. The lady that has a talk show, a TV. I don't know. She does something
I'm
on.
not sure if she has a talk show, but everybody know John Legend, because he has that famous song that he wrote for her that I think plays at like everybody wedding. So, so that's an example that I know that, and she has told the story. He has told the story. They slept together the first night they met, and then they ended up together, and they're, I think they've been together now for a long time. They have what, 3 kids now, um and marriage came out of it. So the reason I say that some people find success, because I can speak to every relationship, because I'm not in those people relationship to know what goes on behind doors or to know if they just made it work. I just know that, not just celebrity wise, that I've told your story publicly about how there's another famous couple too that I'm trying to remember that has been together too for a very long time, that it was the same thing. The first night that they met, they were intimate with each other, and they're still married. But the point I'm trying to make is it's the exception to the rule. It doesn't work for everybody, which is the why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, don't try it at home. It doesn't
Exactly.
work for everybody. I
Uh-huh.
still think you should stand with your conviction, stand with, know yourself, know is exactly what it is that you want. Because not it doesn't work out for all of us. Not all of us are gonna have the Cinderella moment like what we see. And that's the reason I preface it by saying that, because I know sometimes too we see stories and we see happy couples, like as I said in John Legend case, and all of that type of stuff, and then we go off and romanticize in our mind about what
Yes.
we think can happen for us and what is possible. And you make faulty decisions that sometimes don't work out for you. So I think you also have to know what you want, and just make the best decision based on your morals, your conviction, and the kind of life that you want for yourself.
That's amazing. So it's love season, it's Valentine's season, it's
It is.
February. And I think this is the time of the year where a lot of that becomes more prevalent for most people because
Mm-hmm.
everyone is, I don't want to say in pursuit of that, not wanting to spend that Valentine's Day alone. So there's going to be a whole lot more hooking up and stuff happening this season. Well, I mean, what would we say? Because now it's become a culture movement that if you're single during Valentine's Day, there's something kind of off or missing. So now there's more prevalent cases of people getting themselves locked into this unfortunate scenario where they're like, okay, let me just try to get in here, get in there, get in there. I mean, what have we really done with our culture to trying to make ourselves feel like this is something that has to happen? And now a lot of young ladies find themselves in this situation. How can we paint a better picture of understanding that it's okay to be single if during Valentine's Day, and you don't have to hook up with anybody during Valentine's Day?
I I don't. I would hope the young people are not that pressured into thinking that you will have to. And I
No,
do know.
you've been on social media. Jesus.
No, I have, doctor, and I know. Even the holidays too. It's not just Valentine's, like Christmas, Thanksgiving. Those also are not. It's not great for everyone. There are times when some people may feel even more lonely than other time, because it's all about family. Valentine's this month and next weekend, which is Valentine's week, it's supposed to be where people are showing love and showing off for the gram and for Facebook and all of that stuff. I would say to everyone is that not to feel pressured into buying into all of that stuff, because it's a commercialized day. It's a man-made day to capitalize on, I guess, our hearts, our pheromones, all the things that we like, whether it's the chocolate, the rose, the flowers, and it put this pressure not just on men but on women to perform and to do these things that I personally think, if I'm in a relationship, if you're not doing these things for me, the 364 days of the year, then I don't want you showing up at my office or sending flowers to my office just on this one day. And, because I feel like I need to feel something, or society's telling me this is what I need to do. And for single people out there, I can tell you guys right now, find things to fill your life where your life is exciting. So your life doesn't feel empty and you're not feeling lonely and feeling like I need to do this or I need to be with someone, because you don't want to make the decision out of desperation, and you don't want to make the decision out of a space of lacking, because that's, I think, is when you make the wrong choice, because you're trying to fill the void of something that is not there, versus you making the choice from a fulfilled life. So then you're making the choice where you're with your cup running over, where somebody can say, I came into a life that is a full life. Whether you are an entrepreneur or a business owner, or you're in corporate America, or whatever field it is you find yourself in, you are enjoying your family, your children, your friends, you're traveling, you are doing amazing things in your community. There's so many ways to fill your life. And I think that's why community is important. So you're not making the choices from a place of void. And that's what I would encourage our Singles Connect community to do, or single people to do, is to find different ways to fill your life. I know that's what I have done for myself. I can speak for myself, because I'll tell you guys, as a grown adult woman, I can say that I probably only ever had one Valentine. So, because I have made conscious decisions about how I choose to live. Like, I'm not going to choose to be in a relationship just to have somebody. That's not the way my mind works. There has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose. There's something has to be very special about you, that I want to share my life and my space with you, because I think I'm special. Just like I think the person that I'm going to choose is also special. I think that whoever it is, we bring value to each other. Yeah. So relationships for me has been far few and in between, because I've spent most of my adult life being single, but I find many other things to fill my life. So I'm always on the move. I'm always doing something. I'm always finding things to occupy my time. So whenever somebody shows up that I may have an interest in, when you come in, I am not a damsel in distress. I'm not looking to be saved. I am looking for you to come and add to what is already going on, and I can add to what is ever is going on, in your house. We both have a table, and all we need to do is to figure out what ingredients you have, what ingredients I have, so that way we're not both buying the same things, because you already have this and I already have that. There's no point in both of us bringing the dinner roll to the party.
Yep, exactly. I love that. It's so funny that we talk about this and talking about Valentine's Day. A lot of couples, even married people, actually find themselves in one night stand situations when it comes to Valentine's Day. Yeah. Because okay, let me make it clear, because this is the way I'm looking at it. You are in a one night stand situation if that's the only time of the year where your husband or your significant other is gonna think to do something special for you, or try to show you some type of love, or try to even show you some type of appreciation. He has to wait for that one day. And even in most cases, most of these men, or even these married men, they forget. They don't even remember.
That's true.
So a lot of people who are in marriage situations, they find themselves in one night stand situations, or people who have been dating for a long time, and they're just in that dating vicious cycle of we're dating, we're in relationship, we're in relationship, we're in relationship, and it's not going from relationship to courting to dating or to marriage. And then eventually, after some time, it just becomes, okay, what's happening here? Like nothing. So that's really that situation that I'm seeing for a lot of people.
So you're saying, okay, like I guess what I was saying before about for the whole year, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
We don't interact. We don't talk. There's no intimacy.
You don't buy
nothing.
Me
but there's one particular day, because this is society tells us we need to do this and we need to do that. That's the only day there's any romance. So even married couple are having one night stands in their relationship.
Yep.
So they're like roommates pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one day of the year where maybe the guy's going to get some.
He's going to get lucky. It's like on your birthday where you make it, on your the birthday wish. I think every man know what the birthday wish is. I'm just going to leave it at that and move on. but our singles connect community. So that was an interesting perspective. You guys have to tell us what you guys think about that.
Uh-huh.
And leave some comments down in the comment section for us later, because Dr. OJ just brought up a very interesting point. I've never looked at it that way. Although I do know that there are couples that exist in like a roommate situation,
Uh-huh.
and they're maybe they get together once in a blue moon if somebody gets the urge, they even have
One night
sharing separate
stand.
room.
Yes.
So I
One.
guess those people could categorize themselves as that, I'm just having one night stands here
Uh-huh.
and there, because it's probably once 6 months, and then another 6 months it happened one time again. Even if it is your husband is not consistent sex, you're living in the same house but in separate rooms. Yeah, I definitely can see that, and I didn't even know that was so prevalent.
Oh,
Um,
it is because a lot of marriages are so lacking of not just intimacy, lacking of, sex, lacking of just the kind gesture of making that person feel special. A lot of
mhm,
couples are just extremely just lazy. And it's not just the man, it's even the women. A lot of women are very entitled to thinking, okay, my husband always has to be the one to bring the gifts and things like that. And forget the fact that, look, when you enter into a marriage, it's a partnership. It's something that he brings, you bring, we're always bringing, we're always serving one another. So then it's like a one off once in a year. Okay, on his birthday, he's going to get a gift. Or on this is, I'm going to do something special. That's for me classifies as you just putting him or putting her in a one night stand situation. Like it's supposed to be a culture of love. And I think that's really what makes marriage special. The fact
mhm.
that you enter into this commitment to create a perpetual culture of that person feeling loved, appreciated, and thereby just putting in the work, doing the work. It's a lot of work to make someone feel special.
I think so. Well, I don't even know that I it would be a lot of work. I guess maybe. Well, let me not stop thinking about it as from myself. Because I think as human beings, I think we are very simple. I think is about us knowing who each other are, and if you're paying attention enough, it really doesn't. I don't think it. I really don't think, Dr. OJ, that it's a lot of work if you are paying attention to the person that you are with, if you're actually engaged, if you actually care about that person. It's because men and women, I think, are so simple. Sometimes for a woman is as simple as just asking her, how was your day, baby? Or even offering to give her a foot rub. And I think it's the same for men. Like when you walk through the door, sometimes you don't want to be the first thing is complaining about something, or the kids, or I'm overwhelmed, or whatever the case may be. Is just, to see the person comes home and know that when I come home, my wife or my fiance, my, long-term girlfriend, whatever it is going to ask me, how was my day? Or going to notice just the frown upon my face that I didn't have the greatest day,
Mm-hmm.
and give that person a moment. Or I'll give you an example. One of my girlfriends, she's now in a great relationship, so happy for a very healthy relationship. And she has an obsession with her home smelling good, candles, all of that. And her boyfriend surprised her with taking her to a candle making class.
Oh,
And he didn't tell her where she was going. It was all a surprise. He just told her to get ready. He just told her he would just give her a hint of how to dress. So she dressed for the occasion. And when she got there, that's what it was. So they had an opportunity to make candles, and she personalized her scent and whatnot. But again, that's the example of what I'm saying, just paying attention to the person that you're
uh-huh.
with and being
Exactly.
considerate of that person's feelings if you really care about them. So I don't think it requires a lot of work if you are into each other like you should be,
Uh-huh.
and you're in tune with each other, and you're paying attention to each other. It's really not a lot of work, Dr. OJ.
And I'm
I
saying
like
said a lot of work. I didn't even mean it like that. But I meant it's a conscious state. It's just being in a conscious
state
state.
of mind.
And yeah,
Okay.
honest mindfulness all the time to remind yourself to remember to remember. Like, oh, I'm here with this person. I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z. I mean, that guy probably just reminds himself to say, okay, yes, I know she likes these things, but what can I do? If he's not
Mhm.
consciously in that state of awareness of wanting to serve Not that it's not a bother to him, because it's coming from a
Mm-hmm.
place of love. It's coming from a place of just knowing what his role is in the relationship, which is good. So you don't make it a one off, you know. If it's a one off here, one off there, only on birthdays and this and Valentine's and all the special moments, it's equating it to a one night stand, you know. What is a one night stand? You know, people, men, women, they go out in search of sexual satisfaction once, and they don't want to do it again, and then maybe until the need and the urge comes, then they do it again and they don't want to do it again, or they want to be with that one partner, they don't want to be with that person again, right? So if you're treating your relationship as a one night stand, so you're like, oh, I'm just going to do it on this day, and then you get nothing out of me the rest of the days, every day is just, you know, then it is typically technically a one night stand. And yeah, that is something that we don't want to see in our relationships.
Okay. So would you, so, what was the question I wanted to ask you? So for, I guess for our young audience that are probably never been in a relationship, like how would you say they should navigate if they find themselves in a position where they find somebody extremely attractive and they're out
Mhm.
on a date, um, and they feel like this is something that they want to do?
Oh, wow. That is a very good question, because we've all been in that situation where we just threw caution to the wind, like go with
Mm-hmm.
our emotions and letting our emotions lead the way. For a young person, it's going to be really hard for them, but I think the mastery of understanding that your emotions do not rule you, you rule your emotions, and not
Mm-hmm.
leading with that. And I think just having more of a mindfulness of trying to be more conversational, see the person as a human being. Because I think when we have that mindset of, I just want to do this with this person, we objectify the person. Like, just like men will objectify women, and they're so carried away by the physical attributes and all of their chemical and the hormones are raging, women also find themselves in that space. So less objectifying the person and more of seeing the person as a human being that can actually offer a whole lot more value beyond that very brief satisfaction. Again, you know, that is very, very, and I say that cautiously, because when people find themselves in this situation, for the most part, I think 98% of the time there is some type of substance involved. Alcohol is involved, and several things are involved. I don't see most people generally very calm, very lucid, you know, without the enabling of alcohol or any other substance, wanting to get out there and just have one night stands. I mean, I guess they do. People sit in their homes and they just get on their phone and be like, okay, one night stand, that's it. Like, I don't know. But I think more of just seeing each other as humans, more beyond just the objectification of what kind of satisfaction or pleasure we can gain from them,
Okay.
would be the way.
So, so do you think also knowing one's trigger too is important? Like,
Ex-
uh,
extremely, extremely, extremely important, because some people are very triggered by just loneliness, or I don't want to say loneliness, aloneness. Some people find it hard to be alone by themselves. And the only way they want to fill that void of being alone and bringing someone around them is not necessarily because they care about having people around them. Because some people are alone or they're lonely, that they say, but they don't necessarily have the skills to be around people in a healthy way, like
uh
have conversations, be around friends, do things that are more productive. Most people don't have those skills in this generation. Like right
right.
today, most young people, Generation X, and then when you even go further down, Generation Alpha, they don't have a lot of soft skills that allows them to be around each other in a healthy way. So even now, like my son will be like, "Oh, mom, I'm going to the park." As much as I don't want him out there, but I feel like it's necessary for him to be able to get out there and have some play time, some human interaction time, so he understands the proper boundaries within which he can interact with people outside of the general setting of school and church and things like that is important. So that way, as an adult, he can understand how to build a healthy social environment for himself without the need to do certain things. So, yeah, triggers are very important, and people even having to learn those skills is very important. A lot of people, a lot of us, or the times we're living in, parents are not intentional about teaching those things and even providing the environment for us to interact outside of the unhealthy things that we see on social media.
Okay. I agree with that. And the only I bring up the whole thing about trigger too is because I think too, knowing your type and knowing the things that trigger you. So by not putting in yourself in certain environments, because if you know you're at a stage where you're feeling a little bit, as Dr. OJ said, alone, which then will maybe lead to you making the not so sensible decision, then I would say if the guy shows up and he's 6'1", broad shoulder, dark skin, whatever you like, then you may want to turn the date down because it may not be the right time, especially if you know you're in a vulnerable state of mind. Because some people too, I think, make decisions too, and they find themselves in vulnerable positions. Whether you are nursing a heartbreak, you're grieving. It could be the grieving of the loss of a relationship, debt, different things, loss of a job, whatever it is. Sometimes I think people too, they go out and do things to fill that void or just to feel a rush of excitement and just try to feel some type of not
Something,
even power, but maybe some type of fulfillingness, that love,
yes,
that
just something like somebody
cleanness, that's
desiring.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I will encourage us to, as a community, is to also know your triggers and to know where you are at different stages in your life, so you're not making poor decisions during those stages. And
Mm-hmm.
look at the patterns too of your life. Like, when is the time that you make the decisions that are maybe not the best or the healthiest decisions? Is it,
Exactly.
when I'm feeling a certain type of way? You know what I'm saying? And hormonals too, because let's be real here. Um, I know that for women, hormonal, especially like sometime even before or even after, or for some women, for some females it's before, for some it's after, sometimes it's during. When we have that our monthly cycles, your hormones go all kind of haywhack, and
Mm,
you are in the mood for all sort of things. And there sometimes you are even wondering, well, maybe it's just me. Like, what is happening? Like, all of a sudden, things that you weren't thinking about is just flooding your mind, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
really is your hormone playing tricks
it
on you. So
it is. It is.
the point I'm trying to make, guys, and excuse me if I'm rambling, is you got to know, being so self-aware again, and knowing where you're at, not just physically, mentally, and emotionally, but even knowing your body to know what is happening. That's so you don't just go out and make a decision on the wind because you're feeling a certain type of way and your body's playing tricks on you. You just have to be honest with yourself and make those conscious decisions. Go take a shower or something. I don't know.
And this is some
That's
actually
just me.
there's some very simple actionable things that people can do to really avoid being
Hmm.
predisposed to just taking advantage of doing this one night stands. Having
Yeah.
accountability partners. One thing that I have found to be very helpful is immersing myself in a community of women, of friends, and things that really engage my mind and keeps me accountable to having activities that keeps my time not just filling the time for with fluff, but really filling your time with meaningful pursuits that are
Hmm.
in line with your purpose, your passion, the things that you care about. Having that, a lot of people, loneliness is so real in this country. A lot of people live by themselves. They have very minimal friends. The only friends they have are people they interact with at work. And when they're not at work, they're home by themselves. So now that becomes an option for them. So when people find themselves in one night stand situations, it's very, very, I think it's really, it will be insensitive to place a harsh judgment on them. There's no judgment, right? But the thing is just understanding that it's easy for you to kind of mitigate that situation by putting yourself in a healthy situation. Just finding your building a community. It's not easy, but then it also is easy. You can find people with common interests, and they
Yeah.
would hold you accountable and sort of hold you down from making those decisions that you're trying to make that are not healthy. I know that men do this, when men hang out with their boys, especially if it's the right kind of men with the right mindset, and the one of the guys is just trying, they're like, no, dude, you can't do that, and, they try to hold that person down and making sure that you don't make those decisions. And there's some people that they have people that they call when they have certain urges, oh, I really feel like doing this XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
And they have those people, maybe like a coach or someone who is I don't know, yeah, someone like a coach that can tuck them out of, those choices and mindset games that we all play with ourselves and find ourselves. But honestly, my bottom line, closing line is this: one night stand is not something that is healthy for anyone, not even just the spiritual implication, but it's not healthy emotionally for you to keep finding yourselves in this situation where you have to constantly it's kind of like making a lifetime decision within the moment. And having sex is very, very serious decision that you get to make as an adult, whether you feel like you have your body, you can do whatever, but it's a very serious thing. So a one night stand definitely is not the way to go, because it has several negative implications spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically. Your health and wellness definitely will be, is at risk when you do that. So we definitely say no to it. No, no, no.
Okay, guys. So I think it's been an interesting conversation thus far. And as you guys can see, that it's not a lifestyle that myself or Dr. OJ co-sign or encourage. But we do understand people find themselves in peculiar situations all the time because life is always happening to everyone. And as we said, we are fully aware that majority of people are ever regular everyday people do not go out seeking or wanting to do or making the decision to have one night stands. But however, there are the ones that do, because as I said, we're living in a different culture
Uh-huh.
where social media apps and all of these different type of things as make certain things readily accessible to us from the my OnlyFans accounts, all the things. But whatever choices you choose to make, I will encourage you guys to be responsible about it because it does have implication, as she said. It does have long-term side effects, so not just physically, emotional, spiritually, and psychologically. Sometimes these things, after a while, they take a toll and they come back to bite you. So, we'll just say, guys, that is try to be self-aware. Know
Uh-huh.
your triggers, as I said again, about the things that trigger you. Get Form a community because you everybody needs community because you're not going to find everything you need in a relationship. So find
Yeah.
community to fill those void, find ways to fill your life so you're also not you don't feel pressured by society and the images and the things that you're being put out there every single day telling us this is what we need to do to feel like we are part of the in crowd or that you're enough. You find ways to fill your life so you know you are enough without all of these other pressures and things that is out there that tells us otherwise. And that's what I would encourage you guys to do. And you guys can leave comments for us if you think we missed anything you want us to talk about. And just don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel, to like us on Instagram, and just let us know how you think the podcast is going, how you think we're doing, and what you think guys just want us to talk about. We're trying to create a healthy environment here for singles to know that it's okay to be single and there is fulfillment and you can have a happy single life until the Lord says otherwise.
Exactly. I love this. And as you were closing out, something just came to my mind just to leave
Mhm.
a final note to our audience is the fact that, whatever it is that pop culture, social media culture, any other type of culture out there, media is glamorizing, the part that they keep away from us and from you and I is the negative side effects of all of these lifestyles. When you
Mhm.
see a lot of celebrities and things like that glamorizing open sex and one night stands and everything, they don't show the side effects of the depression that comes and the shame that comes, and that person feels less than after the fact. People feel horrible, and just because they engage in these things is like trying to find a fix. But it's like when you have the high, you have the low moments too. So all of these things have side effects. We have women who have become victims of abuse just because they're on their hot girl summer trip. They're like, oh, one man, next man, okay. And then they've become victims of abuse. We have women and men who have been robbed like blind, identity theft, and things like that have happened to them. And it has really upended their lives. Like the side effect of these things stays with the victims beyond the one night stand. And there's just something just in my spirit. I know we're closing out, But that's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of impressed
No,
upon
no,
me.
no, no. Speak what's on your mind.
Well, we're talking about these things that we're saying it's not good, not because of anything other than the fact that we see the glamour and the beauty and the hey and all of these things that attracts us and pulls us in. The part that is behind, is like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, is the side effects, the lifestyle that is created, the pattern of dependency. Now you now have a mindset of dependency on these things. People go into very deep states of depression. Their mental state becomes unstable for an extended period of time. And of course, like I said, some of the economical side effects, getting robbed, identity theft, women becoming victims of abuse, and the worst case scenario, people turning up dead randomly because you're on a one night stand, hot girl summer trip. Come on now. Those things are things that we don't see highlighted as side effects of one choice to be with one random stranger just because you're trying to get a quick fix. And that's why these conversations need to be had and we need to present all the different sides of it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, it's been a great week. We cannot wait to be back next week. We hope you love this episode. My sister has already told you, do the needful, subscribe, follow us, like us, comment. Let us know what you're thinking and join our Singles Connect community. We love to have you. All right, Stace. Until next time, this is another beautiful episode from the Singles Connect community. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a good evening.